Tonight on CTV News, a Holocaust survivor visits Colorado State University. We hear her story of resilience.
Then, large fire breaks out north of campus last night. Then we have developments from the Hughes Stadium redevelopment plan.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Jake Oskveric. Last night, a fire was reported about 7 miles north of Fort Collins near Terry Lake.
On Monday night, around 7:30 p.m., a fire was reported near Terry Lake, north of Fort Collins.
It is what we would call a structure fire. It didn't involve the home of the residents, which we're always thankful for. It involved outside structures, which were a garage, a shed, and then what we've been calling a butler building, but another type of shed. There was also a greenhouse and some kind of storage nearby that was involved.
Luckily, the owners of the property were not home and no one was injured.
There was reports from this morning that a kitten was found that may have been a casualty or from the fire, but we don't know for sure. And yesterday or last night, there was a cat that actually came out of the garage that was okay and actually received some care from a firefighter and UC Health people, so that's great.
Damages from the fire totaled around $140,000.
The cause is currently under investigation.
For more information on the fire, visit www.pooter-fire.org.
Rent is at an all-time high in Fort Collins, and especially around campus. City Council's vote tonight on the zoning of the Hughes area could have an impact on the future of prices in Fort Collins.
Council's last vote of 4-3 decided that the Hughes area would be half low-density housing and half high-density housing. City Council's second vote will finalize their zoning plan. The area is currently set to hold between 302 and 478 homes. Cameron Gloss is the city's long-range planning manager. He said in an interview with the Coloradan that the site could possibly hold up to a little over 1,000 homes if they're certified as affordable.
I think any relegation of just one set stereotype of house of like affordable housing kind of creates a ghetto that doesn't really set well with like how society should be set and all like those negative effects that causes.
The uncertainty comes from Lennar Homes' lack of commitment to affordable housing. But the current projection of 302 to 478 homes comes nowhere near the 500 to 600 homes that Lennar wants. If the housing is higher density as the majority of city council members currently want, that means the prices of new homes will be cheaper and easier to obtain for students and low-income families. The future of the site has many students talking about housing affordability and rent costs.
But I think lower cost housing with a higher density is going to have to be the way Fort Collins goes.
The council is having their final hearing on the zoning of the Hughes area tonight. For more information on the Hughes development, you can go to rcity.fcgov.com.
Local brewery and longtime Fort Collins hotspot, New Belgium, has been sold to a global brewing company with ties to Japan and New Zealand in an all-cash transaction. Lion Little Beverages acquired 100% of the company and its operations. Little Lion is the beverage branch of Japanese food giant Kirin. The price of the sale was not disclosed by either company. However, there will be a $100,000 retirement buyout for 300 employees. New Belgium opened in Fort Collins in 1991 and since has grown into one of the nation's largest breweries.
Last week on CTV News, we reported the story of a fatal shooting involving a homicide victim and the Loveland police. The victim of the homicide was identified as 60-year-old Samuel Harding. He was found dead in a garage around 8:30 in the evening of November 11th. Police encountered the suspect in the home where Harding was found. Now identified as 59-year-old Tammy Pierce, she disobeyed several commands and fired shots at officers before she was killed in the return fire. One officer was taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
This past weekend, a 72-year-old woman was taken to the hospital after being hit by a train in Old Town Fort Collins. The accident occurred near the intersection of Mason and Mulberry at 3:07 in the afternoon Friday and halted traffic and buses as investigators were on the scene. The pedestrian attempted to cross over the train while it was stopped, and it began moving while she was still on it. She was transported to Medical Center of the Rockies with serious injuries and remains there receiving treatment.
In a year with a park opening and more developments planned for future parks, the city's Parks and Recreation Development received national recognition for its services and programming. The Commission for Accreditation of Park and Recreation Agencies gave the recognition for the high standards met by the parks and facilities in Fort Collins. CAPRA serves as an organization to measure the quality of the organization and their operations for accredited parks. There are currently over 176 accredited parks departments across the country.
The city of Fort Collins has seen a large increase in the amount of outdoor and feral cats in the city. The city issued a reminder that outdoor cats, like dogs, need to be restrained in public spaces or a fine can be issued. Although the law applies within the city of Fort Collins limits, the same rule does not apply to the greater Larimer County area. According to a statistic, 20% of the registered pets in the county are cats. Taylor Starr, a spokesperson for the Larimer County Humane Society, said this about the difference in the county and city rules. You have so many more people, so many more dangers animals can face in the actual city versus unincorporated Larimer County.
Weekend controversy occurred between one of Denver's most popular conservative talk shows and its 710 KNUS radio station following the show's host, Craig Silverman's controversial comments over the president. During his show, Silverman accused the president of being a bully, among other things. Following this, the show was interrupted by network news, after which Silverman informed people via Twitter he had been cut off his podcast and they were removed from the network. The station has since responded saying that Silverman's show had not been removed from the network and they supported the freedom for hosts to share their opinion. Silverman served as an attorney for the city of Denver before moving into talk radio.
Last night, students, faculty, and dignitaries gathered in the Laurie Student Center to recognize Holocaust Awareness Week. Our entertainment anchor, Janae Hancock, joins us with more from last night. Janae, what was that event like?
It was so moving, and I've always been fascinated by Holocaust survivor stories, but something about Eva Schloss's story really stood out to me. Check it out.
The stepsister of Anne Frank and the Holocaust survivor, Mrs. Eva Schloss, joined CSU in celebrating Holocaust Awareness Week.
No, I'm not ready to die. I really want to live. I want to experience life and get a family and share the same richness of family life with a family of my own. So that is one of the reasons why I'm still sitting here.
CSU acknowledges the importance of this week with a field of flags that represent 5,000 victims.
The symbolism of how many one flag equals 5,000 people, and that I think is just overwhelming. And I think to see it like that and all of its like sadness and beauty is good for people to see and to see the profoundness, especially it's not just the Jewish people, the yellow flags, it's the other communities that were devastated.
The things became more and more dangerous. You had to wear a yellow star, which means if you walk in the street, everybody knew that you were a Jew, and people started to disappear.
I think the reason that it's important everywhere is so that it never happens again. I think that all of us standing together, learning more about the Holocaust and genocide, and making sure that we all stand up so that it never happens again.
I think we're one generation away from not understanding, and so I think having someone like Ms. Slosh come and speak to us today, it helps to carry on our understanding of horrific time and what she had to go through. So just wonderful to have her here in Fort Collins and to welcome her and to have her tell her story.
Prior to the Holocaust, she battled with the confusion of hatred as a child.
The Nazis knew where a lot of Jewish young people were, and they came with trucks and took classrooms of children away. And in the evenings, the parents waited for the children to come, and they didn't turn up. They went to the local police, even to the Gestapo, the Nazi police, never got an answer. Those young people were never ever seen again.
After surviving such a tragedy in history, Mrs. Slosh now educates on remaining too stubborn to give up on hope.
She's has amazing endurance. She's 90 years old, but her passion is to tell the world about this, and so she makes herself available over and over and over again to talk to people powerfully about the Holocaust and about how to prevent it from ever happening again.
For me, the fact that she's been able to be sort of this survivor to carry on her stepsister's legacy and her family's legacy, and that is a woman that's presenting their story and their thoughts and feelings about what happened to them is very profound.
Even animals don't kill each other just for the sake of killing. We must live in harmony together, value each other's different color, different religion. Religion is something wonderful, it's something uplifting, and it's personal. It doesn't matter if you're a Buddhist or a Christian or a Jew, as long as we are good people. And I think our young people did get the message.
This was such an educational event, and she's such a great speaker. What did you all think?
It's stories like that that really hit home, and they kind of humble you.
Absolutely. I mean, what an inspiration. I'm speechless after watching that. That's amazing.
It was amazing to be there. So after the break, stay tuned in because I will be back with more entertainment.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
What's going on, Rams, and welcome back. My name is Janae Hancock again, and as always, I am here to talk about all things entertainment. So, let's get started. This is the start of something new because Disney is now breaking free with these Disney Plus features. So, get your head in the game because we're all in this together, but with a few new changes.
We're stars, and we see that we're all in this together.
Bet on it. High School Musical, the musical, is the talk on social media. The show made its debut on Disney Plus recently, and now a second season is confirmed. According to Disney Plus, the 10-episode scripted series follows a group of students as they count down to the opening night of their school's first ever production. This sounds pretty familiar. The modern series takes place at the real-life East High, where the original movie was filmed 15 years ago. So far, the show has received a lot of praise, and as much as I hate to say it, seeing that I was a die-hard High School Musical fan, I may have to watch an episode to see what all the hype is about. You may have seen Taylor Swift shake it off in a furry movie clip earlier this year, but the latest trailer that she's in explains the plot. Singer Taylor Swift joins a star-studded cast that includes Jennifer Hudson, Idris Elba, James Corden, and Jason Derulo. According to the New York Post, the film is about a deserving cat that is reborn into the life they've always wanted. I've never seen the musical that this film is based on, so I can understand why people are a little freaked out why all the characters are dressed up as actual cats. But fans have also shared the excitement on social media for the movie and the soundtrack that features Taylor Swift. So if you want to see Cats, it will be released December 20th. And to end entertainment this week, we have a trending hashtag on Twitter, one I think we all can relate to. Hashtag things I do to winterize. Since we're unfortunately going into the colder months of the year, it's only right to share how to survive it all on social media. Tweets varied from stuffing yourself with food, preparing your fireplace, and participating in No Shave November. I cannot stand the cold, so seeing anti-winter hashtag users had to be my favorite part of the weekend. Well, Rams, that's all I have for you all tonight, but I will be back after fall break with more entertainment. Stay tuned after the short commercial break for the weather forecast with Ren Wadsworth.
Hi, I'm your host, Smokey Cole Bear. Filling in for Smokey, because after 75 years of...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Turns out there's much more to say. Nearly 90% of wildfires are caused by us humans being careless, dumping our used barbecue coals willy-nilly. Guess the song was wrong. We did start the fire. That's why I respect Mother Nature and her trees, whether coniferous or new car scented. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. I'm your Tuesday night weather anchor, Ren Wadsworth, here to tell you what you can expect in your weather for your last week of school before fall break. The weather has been fluctuating, but today it's settled on a cool and clear temperature of just around 60. The trees are shedding their leaves, and they aren't the only ones losing layers, as students at CSU today could be seen wearing shorts across campus. Taking a look at what the weather looks like right now that the sun has set, it has cooled down to just about 50 degrees. Moving into your night, you can expect just about 0% chance of rain and very little wind. If we take a look at the lows for tonight going down the I-25 corridor, 39 in Fort Collins, 42 degrees in Denver, 52 degrees in Colorado Springs, and 35 degrees in Pueblo. The southern side of the state is going to be very cold tonight, with the lows in Alamosa at 21 and Gunnison at 23. If we take a look at tomorrow, we can see that cold weather is going to pass into the day. It's going to be 50 degrees, which is what it is right now, so 10 degrees lower than it was today. As we move into the day, you can see that it's going to be about 80% chance of rain, and as you move into your night, that rain is going to quickly turn into snow. As we move on to tomorrow's highs for the state, it's going to be 50 degrees in Fort Collins, 51 degrees in Denver, moving down the I-25 corridor, 54 degrees in Colorado Springs, and 58 degrees in Pueblo. The plain side of the state is going to be a lot warmer than the mountain side of the state, but that's to be expected. As we look at our 5-day forecast for tomorrow, you can see that Wednesday is going to be about 50 degrees and snowy. Moving on to Thursday, that snow is going to keep on coming at 31 degrees. Friday is going to be 40 degrees, a little bit of snow in the morning. Saturday, it's going to warm up again, and it's going to be sunny. And on Sunday, that sun's going to keep on going, and that weather's going to come on. If we move on to Friday, if you're expecting to fly out of the state on Friday, here is your fall flight forecast. Starting at 7 a.m., that snow is going to come in. Moving on to 10 a.m., it's going to disappear. That snow is going to disappear, and the clouds are going to hang around. Moving on to 1 p.m., it's going to warm up a little bit with a high of 39. Moving on to 4 p.m., that sun's going to be persistent, and at 7 p.m., that sun's going to set, and it's going to be cool and clear as you fly out of Colorado. So keep that in mind as you're planning your flights. That's all I have for you today, but if you're wondering what weather to expect over the fall break, tune in on Thursday, but don't go anywhere, Because after the break, Ethan, Bird and Sydney Wicker discuss how the CSU volleyball team is officially Mountain West champs. But they still have 2 more games to go before playoffs. Sydney and Ethan have your volleyball watch list in sports coming up next.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo! Oh, hey, Julia! You ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Baby, you see, I cannot set you free. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
Welcome back from the break, Rams, into another week of the Red Zone. I'm Sydney Wicker.
And I'm Ethan Bird. The newly named Mountain West champions head on the road to take on San Jose State and Nevada. So, Sydney, who's on your volleyball watch list?
Well, Ethan, with the trip to California first, San Jose State's Haley Nelson is definitely the player to look out for. With 306 kills on the season and 762 total attacks, Nelson is leading the Spartans. The sophomore was a member of the 2019 Mountain West All-Star team. She's young, but she's a threat to look out for.
Then on the other side of the net from her will be Jessica Jackson. Jessica had one of her better games of the season on senior day on Saturday with 9 kills, but she's not having the season she had last year, so I'm feeling a breakout game against San Jose State. She's ready to show out. And now looking at that match against Nevada, I've got Kayla Afoa, and she has been asserting herself as one of the better players in the Mountain West. She's 4th in Mountain West in points at 416.5 and 8th in digs per set at 3.3. Now that's really important because she's an outside hitter. And when you're an outside hitter whose main responsibility is offense is playing that much defense, she's a good player. And she had 9 kills in their last match against CSU, so the Rams will have to slow her down.
Absolutely, and after missing a few weeks of the season due to an ankle injury, Paulina Hogard-Jensen is back. The senior has 196 kills on the season and 400 total attacks. In their game last week, she hit 45%, but the last time the Rams played Nevada, Hogard-Jensen showed out and hit 61% with 13 total attacks and 8 kills. With the senior back and only a few games left to play, she's ready to take on the Wolfpack.
Now, this Rams team is so special, and you and I were both there on Saturday for senior day, and it was just such a special atmosphere, and this community loves this team, and this team loves each other, and that's why they're having one of the best seasons in Colorado State athletics history.
Absolutely, and just seeing the tears come down their faces, especially from the seniors and even some of the girls that weren't seniors, just seeing how much they love those senior girls and just some of the veterans on the team. It was so nice to see that, and I kind of related back to when I was an athlete and kind of just remember being with my girls. It was a really special moment.
Absolutely.
And with the Moby Madness continuing on Wednesday night, the CSU men's basketball team hosts Arkansas State. Taking a look at the Red Wolves bench, they only have one returning starter, Marquis Seaton. So far, he's hitting 11 for 14 in free throws and has 17 rebounds on the season. But Canberk Coos is leading the team with 39 rebounds and scoring 73 points so far. The Red Wolves are 4-1 on the season, but the Rams have an all-time series lead on Arkansas State in all 3 of their meetings.
And for the Rams, they have to continue to be tenacious. The young talent has to keep trending in the right direction, and they need to keep up their new mantra and be cockroaches. And the play that will ensure their survival is a good old-fashioned pick and roll. I got one right here. CSU center Nico Carvacho will come up here and set the high pick for Hiron Edwards, and he's going to drive and pull both defenders, leaving Nico undefended. He's going to drive further into the basket and just dish it to Nico here for the easy layup. Now, if a team is able to effectively and efficiently run the pick and roll, they're going to score a lot of high efficiency, high percentage shots, and that's how you beat other teams. And it doesn't really matter who the big is, but here the big is Nico Carvacho. He's very skilled, he's very experienced, and he can pass the ball. Think Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. They run the pick and roll more than anybody else, And that's how they score points, and that's how they win games. And the Nuggets can do that with Nico.
Yeah, absolutely. And just seeing that happen for CSU, it was nice to see them bounce back because they weren't doing too well in that game at first, but they were able to turn that mindset around and come back out. This Rams team is looking hot.
Absolutely. I think they can keep it pushing throughout the season. And a couple weeks ago, I introduced Bigger Than Sports, and Sydney and I figured in the spirit of Thanksgiving that I guess we would be nice to each other tonight and be thankful for what sports can do.
Absolutely. And last week, Michigan State guard Cassius Winston lost his brother, Zachary Winston. Many fans, teams, and students reached out to share their condolences. A moment of silence was held for Zachary Winston in their game last Sunday against Binghamton.
Cassius wanted to share his thanks for all the support he has received so far.
Thank you all. Thank all the Spartan Nation. It's been a really tough time for me and my family. So just all the support, all the love, all the flowers. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, me and our family. You know what I'm saying? There's no better place than this, and how you guys just showed how much you care. My teammates, my coaches, everyone in this building, man. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I lost a piece of my heart, but you guys you keep me going. So I love everything about this place, and I really appreciate you guys. So thank you.
Gosh, to go through this loss in the prime of your season, it's so hard to see that for his family. But Tom Izzo, just seeing him tear up even right there and in the video before, I think it just shows you how big sports are and just how impactful they really are.
Well, and I think it's so easy to forget, and something that you have to remember is that these guys are our age. And they're just as human as we are, and they're on a bigger stage than I could ever imagine. And sometimes sports transcend that. And it shows that we're all human and that we can connect on something deeper, and we can all come together to support each other and support someone else who has gone through something that is completely, I can't even imagine. But it's so special how the community, fans, people who have never even met him, have supported him and helped him through this process.
Absolutely. I'm always a Michigan fan, so seeing this happen for the Sparties, it still hit me. And that's when you put the rivalry away and you're just like, you enjoy the moment of sports and you enjoy the fact that this can bring us all together.
Absolutely. And as we go into this Thanksgiving season, it's just important to remember to love on the people around you and be thankful for the people that you've been given in your life.
Absolutely.
Well, Rams, that is all that we have time for this week. We will be gone next week, but we will return on Tuesday, December 3rd for our final show of the semester. So sad. And to stay updated on all things CSU sports, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at sports_CTV. I'm Ethan Bird.
And I'm Sydney Wicker. Tune back in tomorrow for Laced Up, where Jessica Mendoza, Rachel Hallam, and Hannah Drysdale are back, and they're talking about the football scholarship the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just opened up for girls. And they also share a story on a local high school girl who made history on her football team. You don't want to miss it. Until next week, have a great night, Rams.